What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Think Different Theory. My name is Josh Forti, and we have a very exciting episode for you all here today. I'm very excited about my next guest. I gotta warn you though. My next guest and I might have a little drama going on because I've got some beef to pick with her a little bit. It should be good. And it's going to be a very good conversation. Guys, thank you so much for the support that you've given the podcast. Last week was incredible. The Julie Stowian episode on Monday also blew up, and we've had a lot of people hit back. And like people that don't normally reach out, don't normally listen to the podcast, have reached out and said that they really enjoyed the open conversation about politics and Trump and the other side and things like that. So anyway, if you're here for politics today, you are in the wrong place because I don't think my next person is a very political person, but we're going to bring her on here. Guys, I want to welcome back to the show the woman, what is it, the man, the myth, the legend, the woman, the myth, the legend, the funnel hacking live speaker herself, Miss Kathryn Jones. Welcome back to Think Different Theory.
Oh, what an honor. I'm just so excited that I get to be here today. And the woman, the man, the myth, the legend, the woman, the myth, the legend, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's the woman, the myth, the legend. Can't be the man.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I want like a sign right behind here. It's like woman, myth, legend.
Woman, myth, legend.
Josh Forti.
by Josh Forti.
He said it. He said it, not me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
How do you do that, though, too? Because I feel like you probably get a lot of compliments from a lot of people, right?
Yeah, people are kind. Yes,
people are kind to you, which they should be, which we're going to talk about Funnel Hacking Live and so many cool things. But like, how do you, when you hear like a really good quote and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like that describes me so well. Do you like pin that up and give them credit, or do you just go, no, I can't because that's so egotistical, or like, how do you deal?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest. The likelihood that I would ever put woman, myth, legend actually up on my wall is very slim to none. But
I mean, no, guys, okay. Dream 100 gift.
Yeah. Hello. I live in Utah. But okay, something that I worked actually really hard on, and with our shared coach, Katie Richardson,
who we're also going to talk about.
We have this whole episode could actually just be about her if we wanted.
Yeah. For sure.
But one thing that we worked like really hard on, like even like more than like business strategies, like who is Kathryn Jones? Like who are those things? And to like stand in that power. And I think one thing that I a year and a half ago was more prone to do would be like, if anybody complimented me, I'd be like, oh no, or like downplay it or try and like put it back on them. But she's like, first of all, she's like, Kathryn, she's like, why would you ever invalidate somebody? Like she's like, think about what you're doing. Like when somebody's like, oh, Kathryn, for example, like your speech was so amazing. Your speech was so good, right? She's like, the rudest thing you could ever do is be like, oh, no. It's like, you're immediately telling them that you don't believe them. Like that their opinion's invalid. She's like, so number one, like think outward. Like, how are you going to do that? And she's like, and secondly, she's like, of course they should be telling you this. Of course they should. Like the truest version of Kathryn is extraordinary. So of course you should have lines of people coming up to you and telling you you're amazing. So accept it. So like they're aligning truth with truth. So just take it in.
And acceptance has to be different than ego, yes. Right? Or pride. Totally. So like, how do you stay in okay, because let's be real, Kathryn. I sent you a box before Funnel Hacking Live because you listen to those pretty regularly, pretty consistently.
Note the sarcasm in his voice, kids.
Very much so, guys. Kathryn, are we friends? We're friends, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're friends. So, guys, Kathryn and I are friends, and I think she replies back to me once a month. On a good month. So I sent you a box before Funnel Hacking Live, and I said, I want to see you before you go speak on stage. Because I knew once you speak on stage, you're the superwoman and you're going to be famous. And sure enough, we don't see each other before we actually, I take that back. I saw you briefly the morning of. Yes, on the stairs, briefly the morning of.
It was a good moment.
It was a good moment. It was. Yeah. It was good. It was good. But sure enough, you became famous. I mean, you really did. Like, you crushed it. I mean, you were outside of like a keynote speaker type deal. You were the talk of Funnel Hacking Live. Like, just be honest with yourself here, okay? So like, how do you, and everybody was talking about it, everyone was coming up to you, and like your stories, you had like literally hundreds of people messaging, DMing, tagging you. I mean, you were everywhere. So how do you deal and not get a big head with that? How do you validate without?
Totally. without saying like, hi, I'm the best. Everyone has a line to form to talk to me.
Right. Without becoming a Kardashian.
Without becoming a Kardashian,
Yeah.
which in one sense they are brilliant marketers. Let's say that.
Yes.
We do have to give them that.
Yes, we do.
So this is such a good question, and I it's been a huge part of the debrief of Funnel Hacking Live, but it was also one of the major portions of preparation.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
The major portions of preparation, because I think it was a really huge blessing from God to be able to see this huge opportunity in perspective, like that it was very much a step and not like I made it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like that's not to negate I'll be first to say it is a big deal. It is actually a huge deal.
Just a little bit. Like just a tiny little bit.
Yeah, and like the fact that I could be like, I shared a stage with Tony Robbins, done. Like that alone changes the trajectory.
That alone is cooler than a Forbes feature.
That it's helpful, you know.
Yeah, it's helpful for sure.
But I think I had a lot of experience leading up to it, and in terms of like, okay, what are my objectives of this event? Like I knew that it was pivotal, and I knew that this was also a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like there are literally 14 people total in the world speaking on that stage.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, what am I going to do to make sure that this is the most like perfectly executed experience? And so like, of course you think about like, well, what's the content I'm delivering? How am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like I straight like Russell Brunson and like introduced me and validated my entire huge niche, right? Like amazing. Like how am I going to do my speech? What am I going to do that? But other huge part of it was, again, it wasn't just speaking on stage. It was like, I was like, well, how do I want to curate this? Like, what do I want to do? And I think one of the things that drives my entire business always is inclusion, and like in this word of almost like humans just very much so drive my thing. I love my people.
Inclusion meaning what?
Like okay. So when I went there, I was like inclusion, and the last thing that I would ever want to do in like going on that stage would be like, all right, I'm on the stage now. Like everybody's too good for me now.
Right,
or
I'm
too good for people.
Right.
And so I thought about like the experiences that I have had and how I got here. And so many of them were because of like 30-second to 2-minute interactions that I had with really powerful people. You know what I mean? Where it was like, and you know what I'm talking about, like when you're starting and it's like you're bursting out of your soul and you're like, I don't exactly know what I'm doing here, but like I have to create something, and like I feel this, and like I need to be in your presence. Like I just need to talk to you. And so
I feel like that I was a little bit that way with Tom Bilyeu after he walked off stage. I had 5 minutes with him.
Yes, exactly. And it was 5 minutes. And I can literally tell you, like one of them was 2017 with Kathryn Jones. It was a 2-minute conversation, and it just changed everything.
She's super cool.
I don't know if people know how cool she
is. They
like,
don't. They don't.
Oh, she is so rad.
She's not she's not what she's perceived online.
No,
at all.
She is powerful woman. Anyway, so just like these interactions, and I also think like that, like remembering my experience with those, and I also think remembering like, oh, we've talked about this. I'm like a deeply religious person.
Yes,
like, deeply religious person, and so I had this moment earlier in 2019. It was this like really poignant experience where it became very clear to me, where I felt like I received the message where it's like, any platform, Kathryn, that I ever give you is not for you. Any platform that's ever given is not for you. It's to preach. It's to help people know me. And so, and again, like, I mean, we're getting open here, but I don't know how many people I've told that, but like, so it's like, okay, like how can, and not that like my whole business is like, come unto Jesus. Like,
right. But
you must be converted unto him.
But that's super powerful though, because I think that, so one of the struggles, and I'm sorry to cut you off here, but I think this is important. Okay. So like one of the interesting struggles that I have faced in my life as also a deeply religious person is the balance between the mentality and mindset that says I can do anything, right? Because I mean, the brain, the mind, the human potential is virtually unlimited in a sense, right? And balancing that with, no, I can do anything through Christ or through God with God's power, and what the intention that I'm doing it for, because there's a lot of very, 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 very successful people out there that are not religious, that would give absolutely none of their credit to God. But if you followed their principles and you followed what it is that they taught, guess what would happen? You would become very, very successful too. Now, I happen to believe that those are biblical based principles, right? Yeah. Rather than just, happenstance. But it's been an interesting struggle. So I like that you bring that up, because I think that's a super interesting grounding that a lot of people probably would not have known about you.
And that's the thing, like, my objective is, like, when I had this experience, like, I can tell you about that too, but like, when I had that experience, it wasn't like, Kathryn, everything that you need to, every post or everything that you ever do has to be like pushing Bibles.
Right.
Faces. But like the clarity in terms of like, hey, like, this platform is not for you, it's for me. Like, the objective behind that is wake people up to the truest versions of themselves, whether or not they believe in me and not.
Interesting.
Because I think when people really get clear on who they are, it changes the whole game.
Yeah.
So like, circle back to Funnel Hacking Live, right? Like, my prayer the whole time, the entire time, and when anybody was like, can I pray for you? I was like, yes, please, this is what I want you to pray for me for. It was like, God, like, please help me to be the truest version of myself on that stage. Because if people can see that, then it gives them permission to do the same. So then the speech ends, I get off, and like, I have to say, like, I think I was aware that people would want to be like, oh, good job, it was amazing. But I was not prepared for the, I've never, like, I couldn't go anywhere. Like, truly, like I forgot a fork at lunch, and it took me an hour to get back to my table. Like, like, lines forming everywhere I went. Like, it was absolutely insane. But but I have to tell you what, it was amazing.
I told you this was going to happen, by the way. I called this, and you're like, man, I told you.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, I don't know. But here's the thing. This is what was crazy. Like, this is what was actually cool. And like, people ask, like, what was the most fun about Funnel Hacking Live? It was the most beautiful and sacred thing about it is what people came up and told me after. And the types of conversations that I had with them, I think not even really because of design hacking. It was just the vehicle.
Right.
But they're like, oh my gosh, like design hacking is so cool. Let me show you like what this is doing for me. And then all of a sudden it's like they're weeping about this like deep business idea that they can't get off the ground, but it's just a part of them. Or like this girl comes up to me and she was just like crying her eyes out, and she was just like, Kathryn, like, I have been so depressed, and God just told me I just had to make it to Funnel Hacking Live, and I told God, I was like, all I have to do, the only thing I could promise is the first day. I can only do it to the first day. And she's like, I saw you speak, and I saw myself in you.
Dang, that's crazy.
And she goes, and you woke me up. And she's like, thank you. Like I have been in a bad place for months and months. And this is the first time that I've remembered who I was.
Wow. That's powerful.
And so like, and what a gift.
Yeah.
Like,
no
what
kidding.
Like that I, for whatever reason, got to do that. And so as I went, you met her, one of my best friends, Brooke. She has,
yes,
like,
of course. Shout out Brooke and Lisanne.
Yeah, the smartest. If you need high ticket sales, you need Facebook ads, they're my girls.
There you go. Boom.
Anyway, but one of like Brooke's words of the year, like she has like a word of the year that she does, and it has had like such an impact on me. And I'm like, can I have it be like one of my sub words? She's like, sure. But one of her words is meek, MEEK, and her definition of meek is that like regardless of the status or financial standing or whatever of herself or the person standing with her, she is always thinking, what can I learn from them? Or what can I learn about them? It's just like, like I validate you as a human. And so I had that mentality going in. And I think that's why, like, I had some of the sweetest, most like I just felt like I wept the whole time at Funnel Hacking Live, because these like beautiful people, like they come to me like, oh, they're so like, you're so amazing, blah, blah. And I'd be like, thank you. And I immediately be like, what is your name? Where are you from?
Right. Yeah.
Tell me about what's going on with you. And like,
but people need that though. Like,
yes.
I
need that. I think everybody needs that.
Yes, but one of the things. So, I don't want to cut you off again here because we're on a good thing here. But I think this is important. Okay.
Yeah.
There are many different types of people in this world. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things that I am very, very aware about myself is that self-confidence, not really an issue for me on most days, right? Like I'm a very self-confident person in who I am. I didn't grow up that way, but like I have worked on myself to get me to that point. And one of the things that I started realizing with people a lot of times, and actually I was talking to Steve Larson about this as well, who, shout out Steve, he's amazing. We had him on the show as well. But is that like a lot of people just need validation. And that validation could simply mean that, oh my gosh, somebody cares enough about me to ask me my name. And it seems stupid, right? It does, because it's like, you don't really need that. But it's like this pin that is like, and all they need is like moved that much of like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Tell me about it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, Kathryn Jones like was curious about like what I do, and it gives them this validation, and it can set them on a path to go out and do amazing things. And one of my biggest hopes for people in life is that they have as much confidence in themselves as I have in them. Because there's not been one single person that I have ever met where I sit down with them and I talk to them for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and think, yeah, they're not capable of doing big things. Like not one single person. And I have talked to literally thousands and thousands of people, right? Yeah. And it's like so many people get so caught up in their own false belief in their own head, and they just need somebody to come along and show them that like, no, you can actually go and do this. And I love that. And it sounds like that's what you did a lot with Funnel Hacking, the people at Funnel Hacking Live.
Totally. And I think like one of the things as well, like that, I hope that I'm framing this correctly. It's not just like this. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be all high and mighty and bestow my attention on people. But I literally walked in thinking like, remembering this like really poignant experience that I had in April earlier this year. It was like, your platform is not your own. Wake people up. And also remembering like, it's like this really interesting experience. Like when you have these big like landmarks, like Funnel Hacking 2019, I was in the back of the room every day. Like I was in the literal back of the room, and like only barely had people even started to recognize.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? And then to go from this like my family was there, and like I think they like my mom had to pull me away. She was like, we have a dinner reservations. You've been talking to people for 2.5 hours. That's crazy. And like we left a line of like 30 people that was there after 2 hours. And I just looked at them. I was like, I care about all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My mom's literally making me go. But
that's funny. Strong, powerful woman. And then your mom comes and goes, no, I am a strong, powerful woman. You will listen to me.
No. We have a dinner reservation and I'm starving. But I think about that. And so I think like that entire experience, like the coolest thing that has happened from Funnel Hacking Live, like the coolest thing is like, yeah, it's really cool to have like your entire vehicle and new niche, like Steve Larson style, right? Like create a blue ocean from red ocean. That's exactly what design hacking is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, and to have that literally introduced and validated by Russell Brunson on stage, and to have video content of that, it's a game over.
Game over.
Like game over, right? So it's like, not only did I get that, like, of course the experience was incredible. Like to have that product, of course I've seen a huge increase of sales. Like like it's just like, it's amazing. Like it's kind of, and again, it's kind of this weird shift. I'm like, I'm almost trying to catch up to it myself, because I was in the back row a year ago, and now like, I'm on somebody's podcast the other day, and it's like, they're the kindest people. They're like, they can't believe that I'm on their podcast. And like to switch from going to like, I used to like hustle to get on people's podcasts, and now they're like, thank you so much. And anyway, I think, but I do think I like such amazing blessings in terms of that. But the coolest thing that has happened has been the conversations and the connections that I've made with all realms of people. Like people that have not made a single dollar online to like homies with Russell Brunson.
Okay, so let's talk about this. We need to talk about Russell. All right.
Yeah.
And how this went down.
He's so good. He's such a good, he is such a good man. I think he is the coolest.
And so do I. And so do I, right? Like I was talking with actually Katie on our shout out Katie. We're gonna get Katie back on the show.
Oh,
she's gonna be amazing.
You have to.
Yeah. She was on in season 1, and it was awesome. But it's a very different dynamic now that she's my coach, and like I'm like, oh my gosh, you've changed my life. This is amazing. Yeah. But I was talking to her about this and a couple other people. I'm like, there is a reason that I'm a diehard fanboy of Russell and Clickfunnels, and not Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone, which. I mean, like, learned lots from them. But, like, Russell not only is amazing in business and marketing, he's just an amazing, genuine, amazing human being. But That being said, you are one of very few people that have graced the Funnel Hacking Live stage without paying Russell to be in his inner circle for several years. And I want to know, okay, so shout out Russell. I know you're listening because he listens to every one of my podcast episodes. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, and I talked with Steve about this too. Like, he's on my Dream 100 for sure, right? Working that in, sent him a Book of Mormon, working down on that. But like, whatever you did impressed him. How did you pull off speaking on Funnel Hacking Live? And I know you could go on for like hours about this, and you've got vlogs and everything like that. But like, break it down for me. What are the secrets? What do I need to know to get on stage at Funnel Hacking Live next year?
Okay. This is a great question.
And hold on. I want to preface this one more thing. I don't want you to talk to the audience. I want you to talk to me.
Yeah.
What do I need to do in order to help Russell? Like, here's the thing. I want to be Russell's friend. I don't care if Russell never promotes one of my products, if Russell never, like, I want to make Russell's life better because just being around amazing people, I become friends with Julie, I become friends with Steve, like getting around those type of people, my whole life has leveled up. And then I'm like, all right, Russell's the next step there. And like, I want to provide value to him. What'd you do? How'd you pull it off?
Yeah. So I will say this with the preface of, there was a lot of intention around this.
Intentionality goes far.
Big. There was a lot of intention and a lot of strategic planning that actually far preceded whenever we began speaking. And but I will also say that that in terms of me speaking, a lot of the stars aligned. I will also say that. So like if somebody's like, Kathryn, could I pay you to coach me how to get on the Funnel Hacking Live stage? Like, I do have a framework. But I also recognize that a lot of that is coupled with like, what's the theme of Funnel Hacking Live?
And the timing.
The theme this year, and the timing. And the theme literally this year was frameworks. And I like have killer frameworks when it comes to design, which I think has also, like, that's what's made me famous in the design world is most people design are like, you just feel it in your heart and blah, 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 blah. Or like, you have to be a Photoshop queen or you have to go to coding school. And I'm just like, 6 steps, you know, like, make people upset in the funnel world, like actually mad, like hate mail, hate threads that I am. Oh yeah. It's just, but I think that just means you've got some good marketing going on.
Yeah.
That I have just totally like observed this thing. But in terms of, so I will say that there was a lot of intentionality with a touch of magic. And I think the magic was just divine. But honestly, here's what happened. So before I knew when I created my product CF Design School, the intention behind it always was to partner with Clickfunnels on it.
Well, and I wondered that because it literally has the name. Okay, so logistical thing. They were okay with CF Design School. You didn't call it Clickfunnels Design School for a reason, I assume. It had to be CF.
Totally. And you want to know how I knew to do that? Jamie Smith.
Oh, really?
Jamie Smith with CF Pro Tools. Like, I literally watched Jamie Smith find a hole in the ClickFunnels market, build a product, name it specifically after that product, and get literally Russell to partner with him and put it as a part of Funnel U.
Yeah.
And I said, there we go. What did Jamie do? So I said, and I already was on this design thing, right? Like, I was already on this design thing. So I was like, great. So I literally like take expert secrets, and the whole time where it's like, name your vehicle, pick your niche, use your, like, what's your jargon? What's your story? Everything was literally around like the intention of not selling hundreds of millions of dollars through it. Like the true thing was, how could this fit most perfectly with
Russell's and ClickFunnels?
And that's the name of design hacking. And that's the fact that funnel or design hacking is the next logical step after funnel hacking. Like, everything's coupled. So
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
And then I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off, and we're going to keep down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, of course.
Is the goal to partner or to sell to ClickFunnels?
I think, well, here's what's fun about design hacking. Is design hacking, like the definition of design hacking is how to present stories that convert. Right. So funnels are just like a very small portion of that. And so I think the original intention was, I actually, I don't know what the original intention was. But if you were to ask me now, it'd be partner.
Partner. Yeah, that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've actually had a few offers for people wanting to buy my thing.
Really?
Yes. And I was always like, no. First of all,
you're still in baby phase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you literally don't touch my stuff. Like, thank you for validating it.
Right.
I'm like, no, right? Also because I know the end game. And so anyway, so I think that's the first thing. Like, I literally built it. Like, I knew that this specific product would be built perfectly for that. And I also knew, like, I mean, I have been I think Gabe Schillinger and I are like two of the only people, and there might be a few others, but I'm not sure. The two of the only people that have not come from his inner circle that spoke on stage. And which, first of all, didn't Gabe do amazing? I love Gabe so much. But he's so cool. But I do have a unique story in the sense that I freaking started from the bottom of that value ladder. Like, I truly started from like the free plus shipping funnel and just worked my way up and did like I bought everything. I've done the $10,000 certified internet, whatever it's called, certified partner program before I was out, like funnel scripts, funnel you, I like all of it. Like, and now it's like I'm in his 2 Common Club X, I'm in his collective plus now, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm you got into it?
Oh yeah, it's great. I can't wait.
Okay, so the only reason I didn't do that is I would, if I did not have access to VIP support, I would have bought in. But I have multiple clients that I have access to their Clickfunnels account, so I get to call Clickfunnels support whenever I want. But anyway,
like, it's okay.
Yeah, continue.
But anyway, so that's number one. Is I literally built it with the intention of partnering with them, and so I think that's step number one. Anyway, and then it was like, cool, let's get some good results. So it's like legitimate. And then after about a year, I was like, this stuff is real. It actually works. And so then like the principles that governed me getting on Russell's radar were respectfully disruptive. And I used those 2 words really intentionally. Respectfully in the sense that that man is a busy man. Like, he literally is busy and has like 700,000 followers on Instagram. Like, he's just getting blown up all day, every day. And so it's like, and so it's like, hey, well, I want to be like, persistent was not the word. It was respectful. It was like, how can I, because I'm like, if I badger this dude a million times, he's going to be like, get out of my life. Like, you're actually annoying me if there's too much. But I'm like, if I can be respectful, but disruptive in that, so that it didn't have to be like, hey, I'm messaging you every single day. Look at my thing. Please look at my thing. Hi, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. But it was just like a huge, like, where like, it was like, it stopped him in his tracks. And then 6 weeks later, right? Like, it was like, how can I not be annoying? How can I actually be like, wow, I need to take a look back. Like, I need to stop and see what this girl is doing. And so like my first outreach to him was like this deeply curated video that like had a script that was basically like, listen, dude, you have a bleeding mood amongst your community. And it was like, it was funny and quippy, but like, the reason that I knew that he would at least listen to it is I literally am using the scripts from his book.
Yeah.
Like, I just am using it. Like, I'm a student of his stuff. So did that, built out this whole huge funnel for him that was so extra. Like, so like
you showed some of the footage of that in your vlogs, I think, right?
Yeah. And you could, I think it's probably still up. cfdesignschool.com/hi-russell, right? Like, literally, if you want to go see what we did. And I should probably take down all my boxers on there. So there it is. I'm like, message me whatever way you want. Well, everyone's gonna get access to my boxers before I can go change it. Anyway,
guys, don't bother. She doesn't reply.
But anyway, so I do that, and it was like, it is very unique. And I'm like, if somebody sent this to me, like, I kept thinking like, what would I do? Yeah. And I was like, oh, so that was like the first like, and then he was like, hey. And then I figured out like where he is. And I just knew I didn't want to go through the channels. I was like, if there's a way to get him directly, I'm going to get him directly. Yeah. And the other thing I knew, I was like, is because I've responded like in the last 3.5 years since I've been stalking him on the internet, that like at times he had responded like, oh, thanks, on like Instagram stories. So I'm like, I think he might still be there, So I just into his Instagram DM, send him the link in like this like really funny thumbnail where it's like me and him. It's like I made this video specifically for you, Yeah. Like enough where it's like, like, is this girl crazy? But like, maybe I want to click on this.
Yeah, but the one thing about Russell is Russell respects crazy though. Russell respects intentional crazy.
He's a marketer.
He's a marketer. And that's super important to remember about. It's not everybody. Like, the way you get Russell's attention is not the way you get everybody's attention, right?
Totally.
Because like Russell talks about two things, marketing and Mormonism, right? Like, it's like those are your angles, basically. And as long as you are, as you said, respectful, but also, you know, intentional or disruptive or whatever that is, like Russell respects the game. And I was actually talking to my mom about this because my mom texted me. She watched the Steve Larson interview where I was literally like laying out what I was trying to do to like Dream 100 Russell and everything like that. And she's like, what if he hears you? Like, what if he listens to the episode? I'm like, Russell knows what I'm doing. Yeah. Right? You know what I mean? Like, Russell knew what you were doing, and he knows anybody that's trying to Dream 100 him. Yeah. Like, Russell's a popular dude. He's not an idiot. But I love what you're saying here is like, you've got to figure out a way to, he's already got tons of noise coming in. He's get packages every day. He gets gifts every day. Everybody wants him to promote his stuff, speak on stage. You came in and were like, boom, you cannot ignore me. Yes.
And so then he messages me back, right? And he just says, which I was hyped on life about, right? He's like,
I can imagine.
Hey, just on Instagram TM, hey, this is super cool. I'd love to talk to you about it later, but I'm writing my book. He's writing Traffic Secrets.
Yeah.
So I don't have time right now. So let's talk later, right? I'm like, chill. So what do? I'm chill. I'm just chill, right? So I'm like, great. So I'm like, hey, listen, you go hard in the paint. Can't wait to buy your book. Like, the second it's out, like, it's done for me. Thank you. Yeah, we'll chat later. So like, in the meantime, I'll just like watch his stories, comment on his stuff, but like nothing. I'm not bugging him.
Right.
He set the boundaries. But also I'm in. So the game shifts now, right? Where it's a little bit, and like I actually worked with this with Katie, where it's like, now it's like, how do you curate it so he comes after you?
Yeah.
Like, how does that shift happen?
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, pay attention to me, pay attention. It's like, there's intrigue there. Anyway, so then again, about 6 weeks have passed. I hadn't made another ask of him. He's literally writing his book. I'm not going to bug him. Like, he actually is busy. But it comes up, he's like, okay, I need another, where it's like, oh, the thing was like, he saw that there was something there to that. He wanted to know, but it was like, what questions do I need to answer for him? So it's not like, oh, I'll talk to you later, but like, I have to get on the phone with this girl right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And so again, it was like, how do I be so respectfully disruptive, but turn both of those up a notch? Like, you know? And so then I was like, well, and again, trying to think, how do most people reach out to him, and how can I not be like them?
And is this, are you right now intentionally trying to get on stage, like having him reach out?
No, that's another thing. So I want him to sell my product.
Okay. So you're Dream 100ing him to partner with him at this point. So you weren't trying to get him to put you on stage right now.
No.
Interesting. Okay.
At all.
Where did this fall? Okay, so I have a side question here. Where did this fall in? Because at OfferMind, where I met you, OfferMind, where I met you, I remember this very, very clearly. We were up front by the stage. This was not at the after party. And you said something to me that stuck out, which is actually one of the reasons why I was so intentional about going up and meeting you, like afterwards, and actually forming a relationship. Because you said, Russell voxed me, and I was going back and forth. And I was like, wait, okay, hold on. Russell doesn't box very many people. And I'm trying to get around Russell, right? So I want to be friends with all of his friends. So, so at what point?
This is happening. Okay, so first push to him was in July of 2019. Now it's about 6 weeks have passed, and it's the end of August, and we're about to go to the Unlock the Secrets.
Okay.
So I hadn't met you yet.
No.
So
this is before that.
Yeah, before that. Anyway, so I'm like, cool. How can we be respectfully disruptive? Done. And I'm like, well, the problem why most things don't get to Russell is because they never actually get in his hands. They go to Melanie. And so I'm like, how can I just, which in hindsight, well, it was a good idea, but I love Melanie. Now I'm like, Melanie, how are you? You're incredible.
Yeah.
But like, she's
Shout out Melanie.
I love Melanie so much. She's so cool. But I was like, how can I just bypass Melanie? And I'm like, well, I'm literally going to be in the same room as him for 3 days. So I'm just going to deliver my message to him.
Ooh.
But I'm like, I'm just going to do it. So what do I do? But again, you have to be disruptive, but respectfully. But
have you met Russell at this point though? Or
no. Like our only interaction.
Wait, so you don't know how he is in person at this point?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, this is so much better.
Russell and I have really come a long way in the last like 6 or 7 months. Anyway. So like, I mean, I've been stalking him on the internet for the last 3 years, but like,
right.
And I knew that he knew who I was just from like
The fact that you sent him a big funnel and he replied to you?
Yes, but like nothing like we hadn't bonded.
Right.
Anyway, so I make this huge swag box. I like print out his face huge. I print out my face huge. I like arts and crafts it for days. And so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I have to open this. Like, this is so extra. Like, this is actually hilarious that like, I have to
respect the marketing game.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
And then again, what you do, you open it and there's like all this cool swag in here that's curated for him, really presented in cool ways. And then you open it, and when you open the box, there's a huge QR code that has Russell with his face on it. Like, was like, you want a piece of this? And like, it's like, hey, I made this video again specifically for you. So all you had to do was scan his QR code, and then poof, another video, right?
Pops up his phone.
And in the video, again, I'm respectfully disruptive. Like I'm like, I want him to partner with me. So I'm a peer. So because I'm a peer, I'm chill, right? So it's like, all right, dude. Like, I was like, listen, super excited for your book. So excited to hang out with you in the thing. But it's like, it's been 6 weeks. And I don't really, you said, let's chat later. And I like put up the thing where it's like, let's chat later. And I was like, I don't really know. I'm like, I don't really know when later is. Like, I actually, like, I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, I don't know when later is. So I'm going to just go for it. So here we go. We're like, if later's too soon, I'll try again. Like, just super like chill. Like, not like, I'm sorry for bugging you.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, I don't know when later is, so I'm gonna just go for it. Like, blah, blah. Anyway, so it's the same thing. It was like, and in those things, I was like, well, what were the things that he would need for him to realize that like his people need me? So I just talked about the pain points. Like, so many of my students come from OFA. They like finish OFA and they have their hook story offer and they like don't know how to actually put it on the funnel. So they come to me, right? So I just like use that angle. I'm like, hey, like, let me just paint you a story of what's going on here. Like why I'm going to keep reaching out to you about this. Yeah. It's like, let me help your people. Like, please let me help your people. I'm ready. Anyway, and it was just like, but it was like, you know, Kathryn style, like quippy and funny. Right, and like, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so like the QR code done. So I have this. And so as part of the thing as well, like I decide that I'm just going to lug this thing around the whole time because I don't know when I'm going to have a chance. Right. And what I was not expecting, he was unavailable the whole time. Like, he's on stage, and then when he comes on stage, he goes off. It's like, you know, Funnel Hacking Live, like you don't see him on stage, but you never see him. That's how he was at this event. Unlock the Secret. There's like 1,000 people there, and so I'm like, oh, freak. So the first day, I realized I got to think of something else. Like, I don't know how this is gonna work. And so there I am, so extra, right? Like, so extra. People are like, what are you carrying around? I'm like, I have this idea. I don't know. But like, we're trying to get Russell's attention. And people are like, you're literally crazy. Like I think they're like, oh, okay. Like, happy.
Right. Well, like, and you got to have a little crazy in you though.
Oh, but I think you have to have a little crazy in you.
Most people don't believe that they can actually get Russell Brunson's attention. Yeah.
And I knew I built it for him. I knew that he needed it. I knew that he needed it. So I was like, I have to do this. Anyway, so the first day it was like, he's unavailable. So the second day I was like, okay, I have to adjust my game plan. So we get there really early. I'm one of the first people there, and I get a seat in the front row, and I just sit it up. I just like put it up so he can see like the box that has like his face and my face on it. And you see there's like a moment when he's on stage and he's like walking across and then he like sees the box, and I'm like, good. Because if he sees
Wait. Where'd you put the box?
So I'm sitting, I'm in like one of the front rows.
Yeah.
On stage. And like at this event, there's tables on there.
Okay.
So I just sat it on the table. So he is like looking at this box all day long. And I'm just like, he just like, we just got to be on his radar somewhere. That there's maybe a psycho girl in the thing, but like I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Right. And like, I also think that I have going for me that I don't look dangerous per se. I look like I'm 12 years old. Yeah. So like, I don't think, it's like, we got that. That is kind of helpful. Yeah. Anyway, so then in between, what he would do, it was like very workshop type thing. Like, we had this huge workbook. So he would teach and then be like, hey, go do your assignment. He would teach, go do your assignment. But then in between all our assignments, you can see him studying for like the next portion. So it's like, again, I want to be respectful. Like, I see him studying. So I'm like, you're not going to go. Yeah. It's like, he's literally on stage in front of 1,000 people. But then, and I'm telling you, like, it was like this God moment where all of a sudden, like, for whatever reason, he sends us off for a breakout and he doesn't go study his stuff. He just like, it's weird. He walked up to the front of the stage and he just stood there, and he was like Mufasa looking over. Right. He's like, like, how are we doing? And it was weird. I don't know if you've ever had one of those moments where it's like, you get pushed out of your chair like it's God or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like, I have to go
right now.
Like, and you're like, what am I doing? And like, literally, I see him and I look at my friend Lissy, who's next to me, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm going. And I just like grab the box. Next thing I know, and like people have been walk around for like 2.5 days with this box. So they're like, she's doing it.
She's doing it, yeah.
Like, yeah. And it's like us like little kids in the coaching program. So they're like, yeah, go. And so I like take this box. I walk up and he sees me approach and he's he's one of the kindest, most like who he is who he is what my experience has been with him. I just respect him so much. Anyway, so I walk up to him and he sees me. And so like, he's like on this high stage. So he kneels down and I hand him this thing and I'm like, hi, Russell, I'm Kathryn Jones. And he goes, I know who you are. So nice to meet you in person. And I'm like, oh, that is just the validation I need. And so then I hand him this box and he just starts laughing because it is so extra.
Yeah,
like you have to go watch my blog on
No,
it.
I've seen it.
It's called Operation Dropbox. And anyway, and so he sees it and he laughs. I'm like, I know you're a little busy right now. So just, when you got some time, I think you should probably take some time to open that up. So he's like, haha, okay. And I was like, all right, I'm getting back to it. And then I left him. And that was our interaction, right? Boom, moment. And so then what was the next moment, right? It's like, well, I'm going to vlog the whole experience. So then all of a sudden he sees behind the scenes. So it's like, because I didn't get a response from the box yet.
Ooh.
But I was like, well, then I'm going to vlog to remind him that.
And you crushed hard on him in that vlog.
Oh, the whole thing was about him.
The whole thing.
I am getting the box to Russell.
Right.
And it's actually hilarious, like how hard I had to work to get it to him.
Right.
So I'm like, he needs to know. He can say no, but he needs to know what he's saying no to. So open the dang box, right? So it's that was another hit, was like that. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh my gosh, like that vlog, he's like, that the behind the scenes is so cool. And what I didn't realize, so I thought that he just like watched the vlog, saw my box, and was kind of like, okay, cool. But what I didn't realize is that he hadn't opened it yet. He like gave it to Melanie and just kind of forgot because he's just a busy dude.
Right,
so when he watched the vlog again, it like reminded him
to go
so
open the
again,
box.
It was like hit, right? And so it's like, so then all of a sudden I get a text from Melanie like 4 or 5 days later that's like, hey, this is Russell and Melanie's assistant. And she was just like, hey, whatever. And I had the QR code, can you believe this? I didn't even know it expired. I didn't even know that they could expire. Can you believe how lucky this is?
No.
So Melanie reaches out to me and she's like, hey, I'm going through your box right now. But your QR code is expired. Is there any way to get that back? I'm like, how lucky am I that she even reached out? Like, I didn't even know.
No kidding.
I'm just like an idiot. What? I didn't even know. So I'm like, first of all, I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is like the second chance. Like, this is like the grace of all grace. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, give me 3 minutes. I'll figure it out. I'm literally like research. I'm like, do QR codes expire?
Yeah. How do I react?
Like, how do I fix this? Like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I have no idea. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I fix it, send it off. And it was like, and it was fun. It was great. And it ended up working out better because I was like, oh, I can make like a way funnier thumbnail to this, like based on something that he had said and like our interactions. I'm like, done. So I did like a 6-minute tweet, send it off to her, love on her. I'm like, how cool are you? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You're awesome. Right. Which is all true. And so then all of a sudden she writes me back like 6 minutes later and she's like, oh, Russell is going to love this.
Oh, yes.
And she's like, he's super busy writing. She's super busy writing, so I don't know when he'll respond, but I want you to know, like, I'm going to push this through. I think this is something he's really going to want to see. And so I was like, great. So I wasn't expecting to get like a call from him, honestly, like, because I mean, he and I were playing the 6-week big hit games, right? Like, yeah. Like that's what we're playing. And honestly, it's, and I know it's working.
Right.
Like, and
you have the validation of it though throughout it. And people aren't patient though. You're patient with this.
Yeah.
Right.
And you also have to realize too, like, I think because I wasn't like, I'm so persistent, I'm going to break you down. Like, I don't know. I just tried to be chill. Like all of a sudden he started coming to me. And like in between this, like 2-ish months, like all of a sudden he friends me on Facebook and he joins my Facebook group and he starts like, I think he put me on like see first or like get notified. Like he's one of the top 5 people watching my Instagram stories. like one of the first 5 people watching my stories. So now I know there's a narrative.
Yeah.
I can background.
Shout out Russell for watching Instagram stories. I just got that. I just became cool enough to Russell to watch my stories about 2 months ago.
Nice.
Just
so
cool
yeah,
enough.
so all of a sudden he's watching my stuff, and then all of a sudden like he's stalking me online. So I think he's vetting me, right? And like like I have a best-selling book. All of a sudden like he gets my book. I didn't send it to him.
Okay, a question though.
Yeah.
He's
like, look what I got.
Right.
Like,
I remember seeing that. Are you freaking out at this point and being like, oh my gosh, everything that I have to do, like that I do put out online has to be calculated? Or are you like, nope, I'm going to be my normal self. I'm going to do me and be awesome. Or are you intentionally tweaking your content a bit for Russell?
Well, I think the thing that I had going for me was that like the entire like thing of that product was always curated
I guess that makes sense
for him.
Yeah.
So there wasn't really a lot of tweaking in like my messaging or how I talked about it. Like everything was always for it to be for that audience.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay. So but it also, I mean, it makes the game fun. Like how cool is that? Like you do a story and like you literally watch, like, you know, you do a story and you post it and then you go back like a second later and it's like 3 people have watched it.
Yeah.
Russell Brunson. Yeah. I'm like, anything is possible for me right now. Literally anything is possible for me. And anyway, so in the meantime, like, but I really do.
Oh my gosh.
I was just like, I really worked hard to establish myself as a peer.
Right.
Like,
and that's important.
Yes, I have come up through your thing, but I'm not a fangirl. Like,
I'm not a fangirl. I just put your face and my face together on a big, huge box and hand it to you. But I'm not a fangirl.
We're peers.
We're peers.
I'm uniquely a peer. Right? Uniquely presenting myself as a peer. And anyway, and I do have to say, like, I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's a gift that he took the time to see me. Like, that is actually just like, and it's like marketing is marketing, but also like he had to take the time to like look at that and do that. Anyway, so then that's happening. And then later that day, again, Melanie's like, your thing doesn't work, blah, blah. So fix that. And then I'm expecting another like 6-week chunk. Also, because he's like, so if you were watching his stories, do you remember when he was writing Traffic Secrets and he's like, it's due tomorrow. And he's locked himself up in the penthouse. Yeah. And he's like, I am going to murder myself. This is due tomorrow. Like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just like letting that man have his time because I'm not going to get in his way. That same night, literally, he messages me.
Okay, that's like, so funny because
oh my gosh.
That same night, I know exactly what night you're talking about. Yeah. Because that same night was the night that he viewed one of my stories and replied back. I think it was ha ha or something like that. Yeah. While I was
ha space ha.
Yeah, ha space.
That's how Russell does.
That's how I'm like,
it's not ha ha.
It's so wrong. Ha. But anyway. Yeah. It's that same night, and I was like, "Why is he doing this? He's in the middle of this deadline." I think he just needed to get out of his head for a second.
Oh, I think so. I totally think so too.
Yeah,
and so all of a sudden, that's when he voice messaged me. He was like, "Hey, saw your thing, super cool. I have some really great ideas of how we can work together. Like, super impressed with what you're doing. I'm in the middle of writing this book, so I'm busy. So I'll get back to you." So again, another hit. So I'm a peer. I'm chill. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, thanks for writing the book. Super like. Thanks for the book. You take your time.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
I realize you're writing that for me, so thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, honestly, hit me up whenever. I'm down for it. And then of course in the background, I'm like, I mean, you saw my blog. I'm like, yes. I'm like, this is amazing. It's working. Like blah blah blah. Like it's hard to get the attention of that man. So the fact that he's like, hey, not only I see you, but like I have some cool ideas for how we can work together.
That's super cool. Congratulations, by the way. I mean, like that takes. There's the first time that I ever went up, not the first time, the last time that I ever went up to Russell with at OfferMind, and I asked him a question. Like I wasn't just like, hey Russell, can I take a picture? You're amazing type deal. I was like, hey Russell, I have a question for you. All right. And I was like, hypothetically, the second I said hypothetically, all right, the first thing out of his mouth was, oh boy, I'm about to get pitched. Right. Like, so I was like, damn, and I wasn't even trying to pitch him. I just wanted to know what gift he wanted for a Dream 100, right? Like that was my question to him. But like that stood out to me so much because I'm like, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of people that come up to Russell with, I have a great idea. This is amazing. Blah, 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 product for you. And so shout out to you and congratulations because that truly, truly is an accomplishment. So well done.
Well, thank you. Well, and I think another thing too, I forgot about this portion of the story at OfferMind, like literally, like one of my big things, if you watch my blog, I was just like, I'm going to not be awkward and talk to people. Like I'm going to network because sometimes I get overwhelmed. I get confused by myself. I think I'm an ambivert and however you say it. Like, I don't know. I'm extroverted and like very introverted all at the same time. And I confuse myself. And anyway, so while I was there, like he was right about to go on stage, and I was like super like Pierre, right? I was like, hey dude, you're gonna kill it. Like literally, I think I said, hey dude, you're gonna kill it. And he messaged back and was like, oh my gosh, what should I talk about? Like he's like, maybe, and he's like, what should I talk about? And he's like,
funny.
I need to put something together fast. So it was like funny, and then he actually shouted me out from stage,
I remember that,
which was really cool. But I think it was all like, had it like, we're friends, like it's chill, like of course, like I'm not gonna bug you. And I realized, like, I love that word, like you're like, how can I add value to your life, how can I add value to your life? And for me, like one of the things I was like, I will not be adding value to his life if I take away time from it. So like I just need to like just give it and let him breathe. And for whatever reason, like that like with the combination of like giving him space to even vet me, like giving him space to even like reciprocate. And anyway.
Especially at that level, because I mean he's levels and levels above you at that time. Well, and still now, but like
I mean, he has $1 billion company. I don't have $1 billion company. Give me a hot second and I'll get there. But like, it's so true. Right. It's really true. Like, and so anyway, so I think like those were the key
like, moments.
Respectfully disruptive.
So now that, and that was a great story, by the way. Like phenomenal. Now that you've spoken on stage with him, I mean, Tony Robbins, Russell, Tom Bilyeu, Ryan Holiday, Kathryn Jones, like holy cow! I mean, that's a pretty crazy lineup to be on the stage with, which is phenomenal. So like, now what? And I like, are we promoting Traffic Secrets super hard, trying to place top 20? Are we being intentional about still trying to get you to partner, or like what's the next steps now specifically for like your relationship with Russell and Clickfunnels?
I think one of the things that has been like what I talked about at the beginning, the biggest blessing of speaking on the stage was who it put me in rooms with or who it inspired people to come talk to me with. And I think there are so many incredible people that I was able to meet. But you also learn that like people that are pushing tens and tens of millions of dollars are still human. They're very flawed. Everybody's flawed. They're just rich and flawed. Like that's it, right? And so and I think there's always something to learn from them. And like I don't have anything bad at all to say about anyone, but like it was amazing to see how Russell stood out even amongst.
Interesting.
And I really think it was because I mean he is who he says he is. I mean, he is like honest and genuine and like filled with integrity. And like when Tony Robbins was like, he's one of the brightest lights I know.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he said that?
Oh yeah.
It's so true. And it's how he lives his life. And so it's like, do I want to continue partnering with Russell? Of course I want to continue partnering with Russell. But like, I think the biggest takeaway from that experience was I need to continually be in conversation with people who are able to exude light at that caliber.
That's super interesting. I love that.
And because I think like, again, there's so much you can learn from people that are crazy rich. But when you learn from people who are crazy rich, who are also like genuinely aligned, and like that man loves his wife, loves her, and he loves his kids. And like to be on the cruise with them and like watch how he treats her. You know what I mean? Like he is just a good man. And I think by nature that he attracts good people into his circles. And I think that was like,
look who's on stage with him though. I mean, you've got Dave Woodward, you've got like these are awesome. I mean, I've gotten to know Dave a little bit more too. I mean, like the people that he surrounds himself with and the people that run that company are also genuine, awesome, amazing people.
And that's one of the things too, like one of my biggest reasons for joining like the Collective Plus, like it's like $3,000 a month or something. It's a chunk.
Yeah.
It's like a chunk of change, right? And but it literally was like, how do I be in conversation with people like him?
Yeah. And that's super true. Just get around those type of people, your life will level up.
So true. And so like for me, it's like, do I want to partner with him? Totally, I want to partner with him. But I think what I've been really like grateful to see is that like I think I would be so stupid to boil that man down to a partnership.
Yeah.
Like he is a force.
Yeah.
And for me to learn not only like his marketing tactics, but like there is genius to learn in how that man runs his life.
Yeah, for sure.
And how he treats his children, and so much of what he's done and the influence he has, it, like even within the four walls of his home, like that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited. So it's like, yeah, of course I'm all about traffic secrets. Of course, like I'm going to keep continuing to try and partner with him. Like we're actually going to Africa this summer, which will be like really, really
yeah,
tough.
I'm super excited to see that. Yeah.
But I think like that has been the play for me, is like just realizing, like, again, if this platform is not my own, and if the true intention is to wake people up to the truest version of themselves, I need to hang around people that are actually awake.
Yeah, that's super. Yeah, that's powerful right there. That's powerful.
And
that's one of the things. Let's bring Katie into the conversation here, okay?
Oh, same thing.
Because that's one of the things, you know, and you know this from working with her. But I mean, first thing that I go to her with, I was like, all right, Katie, you're not gonna be my business coach. I'm gonna make you my business coach, right? So I go, Katie, here are all my problems in business, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, who are you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. She's like, well, then don't come to me with problems in business. Let's go back to this. And like continuing to boil it down. And one of the things that she said was, if not that exact thing, like, you know, very similar to it, which is like, you figure out who you are as a person. You figure out the intention of where you're going with your life. You can't be doing this, right? No. You've got to have a clear path of where it is that you're going. And once you build that, like once you know that, then you align everything else with that. And then there's this path, and then you just are super intentional about going through and doing that. And so I'm actually in the process right now, and have been for the last week, 2 weeks or so, with working with her, of getting super clear on what that is for Think Different Theory, right? And playing around with like different things, because I'm all about education, and I'm all about giving people, like, people need to know why they believe what they believe. Right? Like at the very, 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 very core of everything that I believe, I think that, like, I don't care what you believe, you just need to know why you believe what you believe. And I ultimately believe that if you know why you believe what you believe, you will inevitably lead you to the truth. Right? Yes. And I'm like, this is amazing, right? Which is why I'm on this constant search for that or whatever. But once I got super clear on that, and you know, there's a few other minor parts that go around like with that and why that's important, I was like, oh my gosh, I can cut out 80% of what I'm doing because it doesn't align with that. Yes. And once I understood that, which is why, you know, even before Katie, I kind of knew a rough direction of where I was going, like nothing like what I have now. But like, that's why I was like, I don't know where Russell will fit into my life or where I'm going to fit into his, but I know that it has to be there somewhere, right?
Oh, it's so true.
He has fundamentally changed my life.
Oh, the entire trajectory of it.
Yeah.
Entirely. Like, actually, do you want to see something super funny?
I would love to see something.
So somebody so nice is trying to Dream 100 me. And this is what they sent me. And it's actually like it's one of the coolest things ever. It's actually hilarious. Okay. So they were like, so they were trying to Dream 100 me. So of course I have like my wall, right? Like my wall of people. So they're like, we thought we'd send you stuff for like the 3 most influential people in your life.
Ooh.
That they can be more present in your life. So I get these socks with people's faces on them. So the first one is this woman. Her name's Sharon Eubank. She's like the leader of this huge like charitable organization, like the coolest person. So also I get like this.
Oh my God.
And then like my first internet marketing like guru that I just like adored was Ramit Sethi. So they sent me these. And then they gave me these. Russell.
For those of you listening on audio, they are socks plastered in. It's 3 different sets of socks plastered with these particular people's faces all over them. That is
actually just funny. They're like, we just wanted you to have the 3 most influential people in your life, you know, sans Jesus, on your feet. So I said, sure. So anyway, kind of incredible.
That's awesome.
I was like, they're not wrong.
Right.
You know, like they're not wrong. Like I feel like if I made those socks for myself, it'd be a little bit creepy. But I could be like, sorry, Russell, I have socks with your face on them. Somebody gave them to me. But like,
yeah, but Russell won't find that creepy. Russell respects the marketer. Russell gets it. Russell gets it. He does it. Which is what makes him so awesome.
Like, I know, you gotta respect that. So yeah, I think that's the play with him is like, I don't know, my world, my vision of what I want to build is even so much bigger than the funnel world. Yeah. And I'll always be a part of the funnel world. I adore the funnel world, but it's so much bigger than the funnel world. And so the game is how do I continue to be in conversation with this man who is changing literally the trajectory of the world? And
Okay.
And I feel the same way about Katie. It's like, I don't know. I feel like there's always a plan. I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe I'll outgrow her eventually, or like where it's like, I don't know. I don't even know if that's how it works. But I'm like, but regardless of the case, like I will figure out a way where I am always in
where I'm paying, or where I'm having conversation with her, because just being around her would be incredible.
I have to be.
What do you do to? Because I know you have Katie as your coach, and I know you're big on that. I know you're a very scheduled person, like very detailed and things like that. What do you do to can keep your energy focus up? And like, I want to transition here. Actually, let me ask you this: how much time do you have?
I do have about 15 minutes.
You have about 15 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe even 20. I have an 11:30, but I need to prep for it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to kind of switch over here. There's some questions that were asked in your group. I posted in your group and I said, hey, I'm interviewing Kathryn. What are some questions?
I saw the first question. It cracked me up.
Yeah. Well, your graphic designer.
My videographer was like, who makes all her cool videos?
Who makes all your cool videos? So
that's amazing.
That's cool. But I do want to get to that. And one of the questions there is kind of going in with that.
Josh?
Oh, are you there? Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, I lost you, but I'm back.
Okay, we're back.
Or you're back. I don't know. I don't know who left, but we're back.
But one of the questions, so like a couple of the questions were very similar, and it kind of goes right along with what I asked you here. And guys, we could talk for hours and hours and hours. We should have scheduled like 4 hours for this interview, not one. But like along the lines of staying motivated, but like really the direction of the day. I'll just read a couple of these. What motivates you through a difficult day? What after a horrible day, like do you prefer like a nice dinner in or a cozy movie out? Or like what do you do to recharge and reset? And more importantly, like what keeps you driven and motivated? Because you're a very high energy, I should say very positive energy person. Like you get around you and you like your day gets better, right? So it's like, how do you maintain that? And like, what do you do with that? Like, how do you continue?
Yeah, that is a good question. And maybe I could tell the story of yesterday, because yesterday was a rough day.
All right. So
yesterday was a hard day. I
have to give you parameters though, because we don't have tons of time, and we have to catch up real quick afterwards. I have a couple questions for you after the podcast. So
I got a 90-second story.
All right, you got a 90-second story. Let's roll.
Yeah. I think I told you this. Like sometimes I confuse myself because I love humans, but I have to recharge for myself.
Yeah.
And anyway, I had like a big day yesterday where I needed to like kill it, and I just could not get myself to go. Like I just like, I don't know if you've ever had those days where it's like, and I'm like, something is off with me. And I felt anxious, and I felt like just like overwhelmed, but I'm like, and I'm trying to analyze. I'm like, what's my deal? Like, I'm good. Like if I logically look, I'm like, what is the deal? And so so the first thing that I did is sometimes I just need to like walk through it in my mind. So I literally like laid on the ground of my office, and I just was like, I just worked out my day already in my head. Like I just like actually did it in my head, but like I really went through it. Like, hey, if I need to like build this funnel today, or I need to like be on this like difficult conversation phone call, then like I did the conversation
in your head,
and like
visualize.
Yes, like actually all of it. So then I can come back and I don't know, that like gives me power. It's like I already.
Well, I mean, look at what Tony Robbins did. Point your feet together, point your thing out, spin around, then visualize you going completely effortless around. It's like 25% more. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm a magic player.
And it was like, I don't need to feel anxious about this. I already did it and I already won.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a huge thing for me. And that kind of helped me. And then honestly, like I was like, but I was just like off in my soul. So I was like, maybe I just need Jesus, literally. So I was like, I'm just going to like literally like do a scripture study and try and answer some questions. And anyway, so I learned some truths, and it like the whole thing was divine. Like I learned some truths about time. Like my word for the year is omnipresent. Like how do I make decisions that aren't based on time?
Wow, how
do I do that? And so I started studying time, because I'm like, this is such a small moment. Why am I getting caught up?
Well, I mean, time's fake, so there you go.
Exactly, right. And so I was like, okay. Anyway, so I learned these truths, and it would like once I just like had a greater understanding of like, this moment is very small, and you're okay.
Yeah.
And then I like freaked out, because I was like, this stuff's so cool. So I messaged Katie, I'm like, look at what I learned in my scriptures today. And she posed to me the question that, and it was this question that I think the combination of like visualization and my Jesus study and this, she was like, what are you feeling? And what are you trying to not feel?
Whoa.
And when all of a sudden I was like, oh, like the reason I feel resistance to this, I didn't even realize, is like I'm trying to not feel. And for me, the word was rejected. And I was like, oh, great. And then once I like identified that, I was like, oh, I could like get through it logically. Because like honestly, one of the things that I had to do yesterday, like we have this like cool thing. I needed to pitch people. And I know that I can close about, for this particular thing, to get what we really want, I can close like 1 to 2 and 10. So I just know logistically I was going to have 8 people say no to me that day. And in my mind, I'm like, it's fine. But like, for whatever reason, like my soul is like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to do it.
But once you identify and this is what yoga will do. I did yoga the other day. There's a Lifetime Fitness here, which is just crazy. Anyway, and the class was surrender. And it was like, all it taught you how to do is just observe. Yeah. Just observe. Become an observer. Totally. And become aware.
So it was like visualize Jesus, and then that question, what am I trying to not feel, was really helpful. And then, but I think the biggest thing about yesterday is like I refused to believe the false story that I was behind.
I love it. I love it. Everything in life is the stories we operate out of.
Totally. And I was like, I could look at this because like I still have a majority of the things I was supposed to do yesterday on my list today, because I just was like going through. I just was like in this weird state yesterday. And I was like, you all know what? Like, I'm going to choose, like, understand that question. What am I avoiding feeling? The truths that I learned in my scriptures. Like, I really, like, everything's working for me. That was supposed to be my path yesterday. So I refuse to believe that I'm behind.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions here quick.
Here we go.
Okay, ready? Rapid fire questions. After a horrible day, do you prefer a nice dinner out or a cozy movie night in?
If I could watch a movie every single day and go to the movie theater every single day, I would do it. I go to movies by myself.
Go out to the movie theater and
but by myself.
But by yourself.
Like I am way more homebody than out.
You're more of a homebody than out, so it would be like a movie in or a movie theater, and then that's it.
Yeah, but if I went to the movie theater, I'd go by myself.
But by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you find praise or criticism to be more motivating?
Praise, always.
Praise. Okay. What has been your favorite part of the journey that design hacking that is design hacking / speaking at Funnel Hacking Live? What's your favorite part of the journey?
The people.
The people. All right. Who is a surprising fit for your course that some people wouldn't expect?
A surprising fit for my course. What a great question. A surprising fit for my course are like in terms of like a type of person segment is like, affiliate marketers.
Affiliate marketers. Okay, cool.
Yes.
If funnel building didn't work out for you, what was plan B?
I don't know, but I think I got myself to a point where if this whole thing burned down, I'd build it again tomorrow. It's in my blood.
I love that so much. Last one. What was the tipping point that launched you into the automation game? And can you artificially encourage tipping points, or is it something that has to arise naturally?
Yikes, that's good.
Yeah, and it has to be rapid fire. Guess who? You know the person.
I do.
Yeah, it's your graphic designer or your videographer person.
Oh yeah, he's so smart.
He's cool.
Oh, he's one of the smartest men I've ever met. Can you Okay. The tipping point was the recognition of the person I wanted to be in the life I wanted to have.
Okay.
And can that be artificially like simulated, created?
Yeah.
That moment. I think yes, because it's not necessarily the moment. I think the power comes in our agency. We have the ability to choose to whatever degree we want. It's not like something has to happen to you. It's like somebody can choose right now that the game is changing, that your life will forever be over. Like that's what's so fun is everybody holds the power to choose entirely.
I love that. I love it. And I think that's super important because I don't really think it is artificial. I think any decision that you make is intentional. It has to be intentional. If it's not intentional, then you can't do it. So, okay. Kathryn, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Right back at you,
What's some advice that you have for the listeners?
Some advice that I have for the listeners, and it's something that has been a dialogue for us and you, but people always ask like, oh, like how can I get where you are? What can I do? Blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this a tiny bit. The single greatest catalyst for me having any success in my business was me taking the time to figure out who I was.
Super important.
So I think that would be my advice.
Piece of advice.
If somebody were to say like, who's Josh Forti? and you're not sure, or
Ooh.
whoever. Like if I
Who
was
is
like,
Kathryn Jones?
I'm Kathryn Jones. I am brave. I'm always learning, and I'm a light to the world.
Wow. Wow. That is super defined. That's powerful.
And then
you,
it's like,
and you live your life accordingly.
oh yeah. So if anything comes up, right? It's like, oh, like this offer totally bombed, right? Instead of being like, oh, I'm terrible, blah, blah. It's like, I'm brave. I'm always learning. I'm always learning. What a cool experience.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I love
right?
that. It's amazing. Kathryn, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. Think Different Theory, Season 2. Yeah, the honor is mine to have you on here. I really appreciate it. Funnel Hacking Live. We covered the whole entire story. Any final words or anything? You already went to piece of advice. Any final words or anything for the audience? Like,
everyone follow Josh. The dude freaking knows what he's doing. Like, just pay attention to him. That's what I think I'll say.
Thank you. I appreciate that. One last really quick final question for you. If you ever had a chance to go to outer space, would you go to outer space?
No.
No? Kathryn, who are you? That's crazy. Talk about brave, always learning. Be brave, courageous. Go to outer space. Outer space.
I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind.
If I could ever go to outer space, I would go to outer space, just setting the record clear. Guys, this has been the incredible Miss Kathryn Jones. Kathryn, thank you so much for coming on. Guys, as always, hustle, hustle. God bless. Do not be afraid to think different, because those of us that think different are going to be the ones that change the world. I love you all. And I'll see you on the next episode. Take it easy, fam. Oh, wait. Who's our next episode? Oh, Brad Gibb.
Oh, show up for that.
Okay. Round 2. He is the number 1 most downloaded podcast of season 1. Everything that you know about money is wrong. It is part 2 of Everything That You Know About Money is Wrong. Literally, probably one of my favorite episodes, especially if you have any form of success in the business world. This dude is brilliant, and he's a very, very good friend of mine, a client of mine, and someone I've given a lot of money to, and he has made me a lot of money. So don't miss it. Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern time on Think Different Theory. I love you all, and I'll see you then. Take it easy, fam. Peace.